All right, you got Jerome here with DSAW Documents, and we got my Uncle Nate here, and well, I'll let him explain his name and everything, and where he's from, and everything about him. But this is a documentary, and it's pretty much dealing with entrepreneurism and everything. And so here we go. And the first question, well, first I'll let him introduce himself, and then we're gonna talk about the questions.
Okay, my name's Nate Moorman.
I got a few questions to ask you and everything, and hopefully this goes good. So tell me a brief history of growing up.
Well, growing up, I come from a family of 13, and you can imagine the problems we had growing up. Average kid in the block trying to make it through school, and we all did well in that respect. All 13 of us eventually did finish high school.
Okay. So what did the parents do? I mean, your parents and everything. What did they do as coming up? Or
Well, my father was a barber. He owned a barber shop here in Evansville, and he was able to take care of all of us. And as soon as I got in my teenage years, I got me a few little jobs to make a little money for myself, because you can imagine having such a big family, my father could only do so much. So if we wanted to go to the movies or backhandy or whatever, you got to have a little money in your pocket. So I would get little jobs cleaning up places for people, making money.
I got another question to ask you. What got you into starting your own business? Tell us a little bit about that. What got you starting into your business, and what type of business you had?
Well, what got me started, it was after I graduated from high school, my mother approached me, asked me, did I want to go to barber school? And of course, I didn't want to go to barber school. I wanted to be a dentist. And then after she told me my 3 older brothers had promised Dad that they would go to school, none of them went. And then I thought about it for a while, and I decided, hey, that would be good. I'd go to barber school and then maybe get out of barber school and then go to dental school, and then I have a little trade on the side. So that's kind of what got me started.
Mm-hmm. So what type of business did you have? I mean,
Okay, I went to barber school, and of course after a year at school I graduated. Then I had to go to Indianapolis to get my license for barbering, and that's when my, I guess, career started. I got me a job up in Indianapolis to learn the new hairstyles and things so I could bring them back to Evansville.
What year was that? Around time frame? Was that was going on? Or?
That was in 1954.
Wow. Well, what was the latest hairstyle? Is like, I mean, that got you?
Well, the hairstyles was the finger waving that was going on, and some of the curls that we see people with, and I wanted to learn how to do that before I came back to Evansville to be a barber with my dad.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, so how long did you do that? I mean, like the barbering, how long did that last? I mean, did you do?
Well, actually, I had intended to work long enough to learn the hairstyles and coming back to Evansville, but I was doing so well and I got so popular with my work that I built up quite a following, and you don't walk away from success. So I stayed up to Indianapolis for 28 years.
28 successful years, huh?
Very successful.
That's good. So, and then when you moved back to Evansville, what happened then? Is it like when you moved back here to?
Well, I didn't come back to Evansville until 1982.
Okay, okay.
Uh-huh. And I opened up a new shop, and well, from 82 until I retired, I worked here in Evansville.
Okay. So did you venture off and try anything else?
Okay, I had given some thought about retirement in the future, and then I was wondering after I retired, what would I do? So I was reading a magazine once about a guy that had a limousine service up in New York, and he was picking up movie stars and things and taking them various places. And I said, that'd be a good idea, a limousine service. And his story really got me thinking about owning limousine service. And of course, I began to do some research on that. And I eventually found a limousine that I wanted to start out with, and I purchased it. And after that, the business was doing very good, the limousine service. And then I was able to purchase a couple of more. And as a result, I had about 6 limousines in the next 4 or 5 years before I retired. And the limousine service was paying off real good. I really enjoyed it.
That's good, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, another question I have for you. What was some of the struggles you went through while trying to open up your own business? Open up your business as an African American?
Well, naturally, when you open up any kind of business, it's going to take quite a bit of money to do so. And you have to have some money and some very good credit. And of course, this is always pretty hard to do. But I wasn't able to, as far as the limos was concerned, I wasn't able to get brand new ones, but they were looking as good as brand new ones.
Yeah.
They were 2 or 3 years old, but I kept them looking very good, and I competed with the guys that did have newer ones. And the fact that I made sure all of my limos were super clean and smoke-free, they looked as good as anything on the street.
Smoke-free is the major thing, huh?
Oh, yes. Yeah, smoke-free. You open up that door, everything is shining, sparkling, like it's supposed to.
Mm-hmm. Did you have any trouble trying to open up your barber shop? Well, for one, because you're black or anything, did you have any problems running any problems with that? Or?
No, I didn't have any problems with opening up my barber shop, other than I knew the barber equipment was pretty expensive, but it wasn't real expensive.
Yeah.
So I was able to find some pretty good deals with barber and beauty equipment.
Mm-hmm.
And I was able to get some real good deals on those.
So how many people did you have working with you?
Well, in Indianapolis, when I opened up my barber and beauty shop up there, I had 7 beauticians, and it was 4 barbers in the building. And then, now when I came to Evansville and started again, I started with a 2-chair barber shop and 5 beauticians.
Yeah. Are you surprised at some of the things as you was working doing your barbershop, how successful you were, or like some of the things you looked at as like, wow, I'm actually doing this, or like
Well, I,
And you like, oh, how moments, oh man, I'm really doing this, or really,
well, I had worked very hard at what I was doing, and I felt I deserved everything, so I wasn't too surprised, because I deserved this. I worked hard for it,
yeah.
and worked long hours to make, to become successful.
Is there like anything that's like, man, that you're skeptical of, like, man, I don't think I could do this, or like dealing with the business, or
No, I can't say that it was, because after the years of experience I had, I just had a lot of confidence in being able to do it. And
what would you say was the cause of that, the confidence in the like, okay, oh man, I could do this, or keep you going, or whatever? What was the
well, you have to have a good positive attitude.
yeah?
And I had all my equipment and everything, and just a matter of opening the doors and getting my advertisement out. And
Mm-hmm. So I mean, was there anything like? Has it been a time like you've been discouraged, or like, man, or what kept you going to strive to do all this stuff, or was there anything like?
well, I did have a slow period when I opened my shop down here in Evansville. Things didn't go quite fast enough, and I had to take on a second part-time job there for a couple of months to keep, take care of my family.
Yeah.
But then after that, it took off, and I haven't looked back.
Okay. All right. Okay, I have another question. What were some of the highlights of having your own business that you, up until you retired? What are some of the things that you like look back and say, man, that was really neat, or wow moment for you, or whatever?
Yeah. Well, I was very, very pleased that my business was doing real well. And after that slow period I had, it really blossomed. I got a lot more business afterwards. And the little part-time job that I had, of course, I didn't have to do it anymore. And I just look back on it as said, it was worth everything I put in it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any particular moments that you look back and say, man, that really like stuck out at you, and was like, man, that was like, wow.
Well, I don't know. I was very pleased to have been involved in a pretty successful business. And that's always good.
Is any that like comes back from like watching your parents have your own business, or has any of that like look back and said, man, that's like kind of from stems back from growing up or anything, or?
Well, my dad always had a barber shop, and then he eventually started a liquor store business, and I guess that's where I got my entrepreneurship from. He was doing real good at that. He was very successful as a barber, and his liquor store was very successful. And I was very successful in my barber shop, my beauty shop, and my limousine service.
Has anybody else in the family like been successful or had?
Definitely. I had a brother, Donald, that went to barber school, and after barber school, and he worked for me for a while. He started his own business. He sold perfume and soap and perfume shop up in Indianapolis. He was successful with that. And then my sister, Shirley, she opened up her own beauty shop in Milwaukee, which was very successful. So we've had quite a few people in the family that have run their own business.
All right, that's nice. That's nice. All right.
Yes, I would strongly suggest that you do your homework. Whatever you feel like you want to do your homework, find out all about it, what it'll cost you to get started, and stick with it. Give it everything you got. But one thing I would definitely tell anyone starting their own business is to look into retirement funds and things of this nature. Most big businesses offer this to the people that work for them, but small business people seem to not get into that very much. And I found myself kind of on the short end of the stick, you might call it, but not getting enough money put back for retirement.
Okay. So, what do you think is, say, like the hardest part about running a business? Not just your business, but like, what were some of the things you think would be like the hardest part of running a business, or that you think somebody should really know about? Would it be like finances or something like that? Do you think that's like a big part of knowing the finance part of running a business, or?
Well, that's probably the biggest part, main part, and then if you have people working for you or with you, you've got to consider other people, other personalities and things, and being able to do the job that they're hired to do or whatever, and so it takes quite a bit.
Yeah. You had a problem like when you started working and other people working for you
Well, I've had a lot of people working for me. Like I said earlier, I had 7 beauticians, and it was 5 of us barbers in the shop, and all the years that I've had businesses, I've only had to release one beautician in Evansville and 1 barber in Indianapolis.
Okay.
But we all got along pretty good.
Oh wow.
I think
the whole time you only had, that's pretty good. I mean, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I have another question for you. For all the times you had your business and anything, if you had a chance to go back and do it all over again or whatever, would it be anything that you would change or improve upon if you was able to do it all over again?
It certainly would. I'd do a little more research on things, and also make sure that my health. Well, it's pretty hard to say. You just have to run a tight ship,
Yeah.
and you want people to do the best for you because it's work for them as well as you, and that all makes a business successful.
Pretty much it's just finding people to be on the same page as you to help out with the plan or the problem that you have. Is that pretty much what it was, or?
Well, you just have to keep them on their P's and Q's sometimes, because they get a little lax as far as their personalities and as far as some of the choices they make in operating under the name of your business. So you gotta let them know certain things go good, other things not accepted.
Okay. All right. And for the last question I have is, what do you think about investing in black-owned businesses in the area in Evansville?
Well, I think it's a good idea, because if you have a good plan for certain type of or any kind of business that you think would go, if you do the proper research and come up with the proper funding, you could do very well, because they do have a lot more things you can offer, and you're not restricted to one certain area. You know, you can just go anywhere and open up almost any kind of business you want, as long as you have the collateral and the drive to do so.
Yeah. Would you open up I said, like, right now, but you wouldn't open up another business, like, not per se you run it, but open up a business and you just sit back and have other people run it for you? Would you ever use?
Well, I'm a little beyond that. You know, after retiring, I don't want to hear anything about opening up another business, but I can see where a lot of people might do that, because mainly that's why I got into the limo business. I had put in about 48 years of barber and beauty business, and then the limo business, the last, I guess, from 92, last 12 years before I retired, the last 10 years before I retired, the limo business did real good. But once I retired, I didn't want to do any other kind of business.
Oh, yeah. All business out, huh?
All business out.
Okay. Well, once again, I want to thank you, Uncle Nate, for sharing your information with me and everything, and hopefully this will inspire other people to try to open up a business or do something, successful and everything. So, once again, thank you.
You're quite welcome.
All right.